and respected teachers, faculty, and other senior persons over here. It's almost fag end of the day, fag end of the week, and fag end of this discussion. So I think both you and myself are tired, so I won't hold you back for long. And I think so far we had a lot of information and communication as well. That is both ICT, so together covered. So I think I would rather take the privilege of being the last speaker, who has always the advantage of basing his speech almost entirely on summarization of what has been discussed and drawing a conclusion. So I may play that kind of a role. And I won't like to provide further information as such. I would rather like to get back to the basic question with which we started over here. The theme, ICT infrastructure, the global growth driver. As one of my previous speakers has already pointed out how this term ICT came into being. So there are two components, information and communication. If I may elaborate once again a little bit on this. Earlier, this term, information technology, was not there. The term was computer technology, which means the emphasis was on the device computer, more on the hardware rather than the software. And the image, public image, was like this, that this is a very special, very sophisticated instrument to be used only by a select few who are basically engineers, technical people, and only to be used for elite purposes. That was the image of computer. Till the time PCs came into being. ICT itself is a revolution. The two components which are contributing to this revolution are themselves revolutions. One is PC, the advent of PC. It became a ubiquitous computing device in that sense of the term. Easy available. So earlier, computer was at one corner, a special corner of an office. But then PC came to be on everyone's table. The applications on it were very much down to earth of day-to-day usage. That's how the name came, personal computer. So it was still to be of personal usage. The next revolution that came was from the communication side, the bridging of these personal computers, and on top of that, the application that came together, the internet revolution. So internet is actually the physical connection, and on top of it, the World Wide Web services. So when these two were married, and the result of marriage was another revolution, ICT. So what were the key words? PCs meant it was for everyone. Not just for a select few, not just for an elite application. And why internet? Before internet came into being, people thought, again, PCs were for personal use. The concept of sharing of knowledge or information didn't come into being. And when, with this, the term information technology came into being, people were no longer talking about computer engineering, which means now the hardware was not of so much importance, but the software, or rather the applications. If you really look back at history of computing, you will find that at one point of time, people thought using computers was a fashion in enterprises. So everyone was sure that computers had to be there, but no one was really sure why it needed to be there. But there was one time when recession came into being, or little before this formally recession came into being, when management of enterprises started asking questions, why computers? Computers had already been there for a decade or more. But what advantage has it really brought in? What value addition that it has really brought into the operations of an enterprise? And then beyond the boundaries of the enterprise, the question came in the society. What value addition computers are doing to the society? That brings to the basic question, global growth driver. How is ICT going to act as a global growth driver? When we say global, then everybody has to be involved. Everybody's interest has to be looked into. How ICT can contribute really to that? Which means now the focus is on applications. Applications is not technology per se, though actually technology should be inclusive of application. The defect, someone said, it's not my words, with our technology education, not just in India, across the globe, is that we are taught what is pure technology, so to say. Okay, operating system, networking, programming languages. But are we taught how to handle this in real social environments? How to handle a public meeting? How to manage a project? It is not done. So technologists, when they come into the real world, they have more failures than success. That is the whole problem. Now today we say ICT in context of e-learning and e-governance, which are to be its major applications as far as global growth is concerned. Because everybody's interest is in learning. Everybody's interest is in productivity, GDP. So how can ICT contribute to the growth of GDP and to learning and education as a whole? That should be the real question. Now, there are a lot of learning tools today. How do we use them? E-learning tools in the industry. Why do we use them? That is known. We have a problem of spatial locality. We cannot put all the participants of a course all together in the same place at the same time, along with the faculty. That is why we go for e-learning tools in a distributed environment where people can join in from different corners of the organization, geographically widely distributed, along with faculty. Another mode is, of course, web-based WebEx, where people all are at the same time, but at different places. They are going with the speaker. The speaker is at a different place. So there are asynchronous modes of driving in and synchronous modes. These are basically the synchronous modes. In asynchronous mode, the learner can join in into the internet and learn at his own free will, at his own free time. That means more than time, it is important that it suits his personal learning style.
Thank you, Mr. Banerjee, for your excellency speech. What we find from you is a very nice conclusion, because right from the very beginning of our panel discussion today, we have been roaming around different topics, but we could not delve into the very fundamental of the theme, that is the global growth driver, which we find in your talk is exactly a notification on the ICT as a global growth driver. And our listeners might have already got a feeling that yes, this particular field of or domain of knowledge and work can drive us to the future, where we can say that we can exploit the demographic dividend that is there in our country to convert our country or the world to a different kind of a knowledge economy altogether, and we can really grow without any limit. And with these few words, I also want to terminate my duty of working as a moderator, and this particular duty is not related to giving a lecture, so I don't want to mix up both. I may get another forum where I can give you a lecture and wait for that, and now hand over to Mr. P.L. Sarkar for giving a vote of thanks. But before that, we circulate the token of appreciations to our dignitaries on the panel list. For Mr. D.P. Nag, Secretary BNCCI, and then thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving a nice presentation to us. Dr. Amit Chaudhary from CDAC Kolkata. Thank you, Amit, for giving a very nice lecture on R&D issues of ICT. Now, a memento for Mr. Kushal Banerjee from TCS. And with this, now I hand over the microphone to Mr. P.L. Sarkar to take over the duty of voting of thanks to all the participants and everybody else.
Thank you, Professor Omio Sarkar. At the fag end of the day, indeed a pleasure to propose a very short, formal vote of thanks. Many people to thank, the dignitaries particularly, who spent the entire Saturday fag end afternoon with us, starting with the two Vice Chancellors who gave their valuable time, valuable thoughts, but had to leave for urgent duties in their respective universities. Professor Ajay Kumar Rai, Vice Chancellor, Bengal Engineering and Science University, broke the ice of this discussion, followed by Professor Shobhusachi Sengupta, the Vice Chancellor of our home university, not W but West Bengal University of Technology. We had the next speaker as Dr. Amit Chaudhary, who is the Additional Director of CDAC and also the Group Head of ICT Initiative. He and Mr. Kushal Banerjee happens incidentally my seniors in Jalpur University, so it was nice to meet them sometimes and to listen to them. Mr. D.P. Nag was the speaker from the industry consortium, the BNCCI, who have also supported us in this initiative, followed by the very enlightening, the total, I should say, a great way to end today's discussion by Mr. Kushal Banerjee, the academic relations head of TCS. He has given a new dimension to what I think academic relationship is, always supporting academic institutes like us. I'll come back a bit home to inside the institute, for giving the entire initiative his wholehearted support, Professor Dr. S.K. Bhattacharya, our respected principal, for staying the entire time supporting the organizers. Professor Rupa Mukherjee, in a great way she introduced the topic and moderated the initial sessions. Indeed, Professor Omio Kumar Sarkar for making this possible and moderating the sessions. We must actually thank the drivers, the students, the age 2011 under whose banner we had this. Also TCS and BNCCI for making it happen. I must separately thank all the faculty members who actually supported, patronized the students under Professor Soumitra Shashmal, who fondly was referred by Amida as Bubun Shashmal, which happens to be his pet name and his email ID also. And Mr. Ronirban Goswami, Noiranjana Chaudhary, Polly Shil Sen, Taposhi Bhattacharya, Vijayoti Shaha, Pradipta Bhomik and Animdita Shaha, the entire IT department, who supported, helped, patronized the students to make this happen. All other support staff members, right from the projector to administration to hospitality to housekeeping to everybody. And the video films that we had in the beginning, that was also a great way to do that. Thanks to